a chance, mate. And kids got it. Hey, listen. Don't you know you? Don't you know you? Don't you know you? Don't you know you? Let me hear you say, oh, 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 oh. Say. Say. Hold on, hold on. How many of you represent God? So what if I were to ask a question like this? Who you represent? Who you represent? Who you represent? Who you represent? All right, hold it. Don't set it off yet. For those of you who came to a youth conference and expect young people to act old, it's not gonna work tonight. If you're a little seasoned in your walk, you wanna keep the dance right here. Oh, come on, don't hate on me. God is using this music to reach somebody. Don't hate on me, come on. See, if that's, you know what I mean, if you got arthritis or whatever, believe God for healing. But if you young, we don't want to keep it here. We want to take it all the way to who you. Now, let me warn you. If you are going to try to be cute and be the walls of Jericho, the wall is gonna come down. If you're next to somebody that don't want to move, say, excuse me, I got to get mine on in this song right here. When I ask who you represent, who you represent, who you. See, y'all ain't moving. Trust me, you don't want to stand still. The brother last night talked about this rhythm. You want to move on this one. Can I give y'all a little bit of music? We're going to move this way. We're going to try it out. You in the audience, move with me. Y'all ready? Let's go, Caesar.
Hey, yo, we represent.
Who you represent? 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 Who you represent?
Hey, yo, we represent.
Who you represent? 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 We represent. We represent. I said we I said I represent. You gotta keep a close eye on the people that you move with. Everybody nowadays is marching in the movement. Some ain't gon' like what I say in my songs. They march for the right to do what is the wrong. Abortion is a sin. Homosex, sin. You're born that way, you could be born again. Sometimes I really wonder if this world is listening, 'cause we are not the same. I am a Christian. I read the Bible. Christ is what I'm into. It should show if he has a relationship with you. Take up your cross, deny yourself and follow me. If you are a man of God, you cannot watch pornography. Can't fornicate. Throw away the condoms. I don't care how much honey say she wants some. Even when they not looking, rep him to the core. Rep him in the public eyes at me. Everybody who you represent, 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 who you represent. I said we represent, we represent, we represent. start a riot. But I do believe the church has been too quiet. The world is busy marching, legalizing everything. What they really want to legalize is sin. Same-sex marriages. Let me just testify. When you legalize that, here comes the pedophile and the polygamist and the one who... Next you know you gonna have to legalize real coke. Deuce birth abortion, anti-life, lawless society that's anti-Christ. He hates racism, he hates to see injustice. Question that I'm asking, where are the churches? They keep telling me, learn to tolerate. When I say what I believe, they tell me that it's hate. But I love all sinners, and I don't discriminate. When it comes to sin, I refuse to participate. Now who you represent? 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 We represent. We represent. Come into my classroom, grab a chair, please sit. A lot of things you think is cool, God ain't really pleased with. You think you get away with it, cause it's done in secret. But you fool yourself because he always. I've been bought with a price. Yes, I am loving it. God so loved the world, his only son hung for it on a cross. I am under his government. The rainbow's not a sign of gay pride, but of a covenant. This is not a hate speech. This is just a warning. What you call a lifestyle, God already called sin. This world is impatient, constantly racing. Switched up my style to bring it to your generation. You need salvation. You are so unaware. There's a God up above, and he really do care. But you built up a great wall around you like China. You're a perfect design. Who's your designer? Who you represent? 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 We gotta stop teaching these kids that God is just here to make you blow up. Let me help y'all out. Let me help y'all out. Want me to help y'all out? Here you go. Who you represent? 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 Everybody in the back, turn around, look at them in the audience. Turn around, look at them, look at them. Throw your hands up in the air. Ask them this question for me. Ask them this. Who you represent? 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 All right. Everybody in the audience, ask them the same question. Who you? Who you represent? 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 You feel all this energy and you just gonna stand? Not even stand? I'm messing with you, don't feel pressured. Can I ask you a question? All you got to do is answer. You ain't got to get up or nothing. I know you working. Can we ask him a question? 1, 2, 3. Who you represent?